Hi, I'm Jessica Amir for the Finance News Network. Joining us now over the phone from Lithium Explorer Latin Resources is Managing Director Chris Gale. Hi Chris, welcome back.
Thank you, Jessica. Glad to be here.
First up, can you give us an update on your projects, starting with the Catamarca Lithium project?
Yeah, sure. We've been working now on the Catamarca project for the last 6 to 8 months. We finished our drilling around there, our exploratory drilling, about 3,000 metres about 3 months ago. Came back with some very positive grades. What we're now looking for through there, we have a team out in the field looking for extensions of those structures and to define some more drill targets, more importantly onto the areas that we think are predominantly going to be, I suppose, viable in the future. So field work, some more sampling, mapping, etc. on Catamarca. St. Louis, we have a very big ground position there now. We have up to 90,000 hectares in actual fact. Maria Tahuto, which is 100% owned by Latin Resources, recently had its drilling permit, environmental drilling permit approved. We have another 7 concessions we've submitted environmental drill permits into. What we're waiting on, Jessica, is to have those drill permits approved and those environmental permits approved over the next month or so, where we can then get our rigs onto site, and rather than just doing one project, we want to drill a number of those projects and start looking at perhaps moving into obviously a JORC position over the coming months. The reason for the hold up there was some council local government elections. They've been completed now. There's a couple of new people being appointed into the mines department. That was a bit of a hold up for us, but yeah, everything's moving very well in St. Louis.
And Chris, when we last spoke, you're in the process of selling your copper assets. Is that complete?
Yes, Jessica, it's really the Westminster Resources, a Toronto-listed company that acquired our copper assets in Peru. Nearly completed due diligence. We expect that sale agreement to be signed before Christmas. That will mean that we'll get issued our shares and some cash. That will make us the largest shareholder in Westminster Resources, and that stake of Westminster Resources will be equal to around $6 to $7 million. So there's a lot of value we've brought into the company where we've given no value whatsoever. They have cash. They'll start some work on those projects next year. The other thing I want to bring up is that First Quantum, our joint venture partner First Quantum, Canada's largest copper producer, is still in play. We retained that project and they will start carrying out permitting and I hope drilling first quarter next year, which will mean that we'll have people working on our copper assets from Canada. We'll have First Quantum looking at drilling our project. That is a very large copper porphyry, and it's a very exciting combined with the copper price currently, which is at an all-time high.
And Chris, you recently announced you're in discussions with potential partners. Tell us about that.
Yes, that's true. We made a statement on the 13th of November that we're in preliminary discussions with a number of different parties in relation to a potential joint venture or offtake arrangements in respect to our lithium assets in Argentina. Those discussions are continuing at the moment. However, it's very early stage. One of our views is that rather than go back to the market to raise equity, we, as in the past, and have proven in the past, we've been able to bring in very, very good joint venture partners to help fund our project through to a position of drilling and achieving a JORC resource. So that's what we're looking at there.
And lithium stocks have been on the move of late, with your share price up considerably too. Do you have a comment about the move and what are your long-term value aspirations?
Well, that's a very good question, Jessica, and I think what the company's focused on and what we have been very focused on is, one, we have the largest hard rock land holding now of lithium pegmatites in Argentina. 2, we are now moving towards drilling to create a JORC resource. Our current market cap's in the vicinity of $20 million. If you look at the other players in this space, and once they have produced a hard rock JORC resource, their market cap's in the vicinity of 200 million plus. So we know we're a little way off from that, but we can see significant upside. The other area we're looking at, obviously, is, we discussed previous to this, is that we have the opportunity perhaps investing in a local plant. St. Louis has some plants that operate quartz and feldspar for the glass and ceramics industry. Talking to two in particular to perhaps put a spodumene circuit into that plant to help us fast-track production. And I think finally, with the copper projects and the price of copper at the moment and where the copper price is heading, I think our copper projects are going to potentially prove exceptional value for the company.
Last question now, Chris. What can investors look out for in terms of news flow over the next quarter?
Our news flow will be highlighted by the fact that we're actually starting drilling very soon. The recent announcement we made on the Onkucho University, where we're investing in a technology to take a spodumene product into lithium carbonate, is very exciting for us. We want to be in a position the first half of next year to start carrying out some test work on our material in Argentina. The third quarter, we want to start looking at potential PFS and pre-feasibility studies. And our biggest goal of all is to move this into production as soon as we can.
Well, Chris Gale, thank you so much for the update.
No problems. Thanks very much, Jessica.